Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We've got Honorable Babatunde Ogala, who is a former member of the Lagos State House of Assembly and the chair of the Judicial Committee in the House while he was there, and he's also a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, we're having this argument, or this discussion, not argument, about the position of the Senate on the confirmation of nominees. We've heard lawyers saying, we just heard the lawyer who said, look, the acting president made an error there. By extension, the executive, by saying that they didn't need to go to the Senate, predicating it on Section 171, because the EFCC Act, they say, clearly states what needs to be done about confirmation. What do you think?
Well, I don't see what error the Vice President made. Rather, I'm seeing the Senate precisely acting like, I don't want to call it legislative, what I'll call it is clearly legislative rascality, and legislating based on rumors and hearsay.
How do you mean?
If I remember vividly, first and foremost, the Vice President did not officially communicate to the Senate. So you don't pick news from the streets, from the media, and start making it your agenda in a legislative house. The Vice President, the acting president, if I recall vividly, said, and it was in reaction to a position propounded by Femi Falana SAN, who said, by virtue of Section 171, that they do not need to send Magu to the Senate for confirmation. And the Vice President, in a discussion, please note, it was not a Federal Executive Council position. It was not officially communicated to the Senate. And he said, a school of thought has also said that we might not need this confirmation, and specifically mentioned Femi Falana and a few others, and said perhaps he might want to align with that, but we need to look at this further. Please, for crying out loud, why would the Senate of the Federal Republic, based on a reaction to somebody's interview or expressing a legal opinion, albeit is the acting president or the Vice President as it then was, because the President was still on seat. No, the President was around, I think, at that time, you know. But whichever, or the acting president now said, in reaction to an opinion propounded by a lawyer, that a school of thought is also saying this. Well, they might be right, but we'll look at it. For crying out loud, the National Assembly has to learn to deal with official communication. You don't read the newspaper and say, because the Vice President is quoted.
But if you say he's wrong, I'm just going to give you a precedent, because we see the National Assembly, not even just the Senate.
Yes. They
usually bring up such cases when they think that, look, maybe under a matter of urgent national importance, they cite those publications in the press. You say that is wrong.
I have not said reacting to what is going on in the society is wrong. I mean, they cannot read today that there is a collapsed Third Mainland Bridge in the press and not consider it as matter of urgent national importance. What I'm saying, in this instance, if the acting president said some people had expressed opinions that they may not need it, and that, well, even if you might align with that, they will need to reconsider it. But nonetheless, he has not in any way officially communicated to you. Please note, we are talking about the acting president, we are talking about two arms of government communicating with each other.
So this is a needless face-off.
So, absolutely needless. Now, let's assume, do not consider that he even indeed expressed such an opinion. Let's assume, not that I consider he said so. Let's assume that he even said so to the media. And perhaps out of a rethink, he has now formally sent a name for you for confirmation. Would that not mean that perhaps he has had a rethink and he thinks this is just the right thing to do? You now receive an official communication and rely on unofficial communication to shoot down the official communication. How does it make sense? So for me, it is some rascality.
But that's been hypothetical too.
I'm not being. This is a reality.
No,
there's no official communication from the vice president
or
the acting president to the Senate that you have no power of confirmation.
But there was a communication.
There was no
Senate.
communication.
No, there was a communication to the Senate when they got the two, as a matter of fact, two letters from the executive that suggests that Magu has got integrity questions to answer. Yes. And based on that, they were able to reject Magu's confirmation. They rejected. Is that not enough for the Senate to act with, to go with?
There are two different things now. You are introducing a different angle. I will come to that. But we are talking about rejecting the nomination based upon what the vice president is alleged to have said.
I thought you were saying that
it's not official, and there's not an official communication. You not shoot down the official communication based on a reported statement. No, but don't even bother to verify.
But they got that statement now came in officially.
Where did it come in?
It came in officially as two reports that had the integrity question over here.
The Senate wrote back. The Senate wrote back to say they were not confirming Magu as substantive chairman for integrity issues.
Let me understand.
Not an official communication for the president.
Let's understand what you're saying. Now, is it a hypothesis when you say, or are you being hypothetical when you say they shut down official communication because they relied on unofficial communication of what they had in the press?
Absolutely, it's not hypothetical.
That hasn't happened yet.
But we heard we heard them yesterday. Was it Sekibo or who was it? I can't remember. We said it always the point of order. When
I'm talking about.
And he said the vice president had said so.
Yeah,
Did the vice president communicate to that Senate?
No, I'm saying, has the acting president actually sent another or represented the chairman of EFCC? It's a separate communication, official communication.
I think we should distinguish the issues. They shut down yesterday.
Yes,
because the acting president is reported to have said they have no powers.
Okay.
But coming to the Magu issue, yes,